In the various videos we have seen the formation of steam, so how the steam is formed and what are the different types of steam, that is wet, dry and the superheated steam. So in this video we'll be covering so when these steams are produced, so how these steams are utilized. So that's what we'll be studying in this video. So here we'll be seeing what do you mean by steam vapor cycles. So these steam vapor cycles are used in power plant for producing electricity, or what we can say the power output, for producing the power output. So here we'll be covering regarding two types of cycles. The first one will be seeing the Carnot cycle, how it works and its representation on PV, that is pressure volume and temperature entropy diagram. The second one we'll be seeing regarding like Rankine cycle, so how it works and its representation on pressure volume and temperature entropy diagram. So just before going to these cycles, so let's consider what are these, or let's see through what are these steam vapor cycle. So the vapor or steam power cycle continuously converts heat into work. So whatever the water is there, so the water gets heated, it gets converted into steam, and that same steam will be using the superheated steam. So the superheated steam will be having a high temperature and heat. So that same steam will be used to produce output, a power output. So these vapor power cycle are obtained when there is a change in phase of working medium. So change in phase in the sense the water gets converted into steam, so that is a change in phase, that is the water, the liquid form is get converted into a vapor form. So these steam power cycles are used in steam power plant for producing power output. So what is the working medium here used is, that is the superheated steam. So water gets converted into superheated steam. So just before going to the various cycles, we'll just see how actually the steam is produced. So we'll be having a boiler. So here where the water is heated and gets converted into steam. So to that boiler first the water is fed, okay, and then the heat is released, or what we can say, inside that boiler the burning takes place, and due to that burning what happens, the burning of coal, so coal is used to burn, so due to that what happens, heat is generated. So when that heat is generated, whatever the water has been sent to the boiler, so that gets converted, slowly gets converted into steam, and finally what will get superheated steam. First it gets converted into wet steam, dry steam, and finally superheated steam. So that superheated steam is fed to the turbine, right? So when a turbine will be having blades, so when that superheated steam is fed to the blades, what happens, the turbine starts rotating and we'll get what, power output. So let's go through the first type of cycle, that is Carnot cycle. So you can see here there are two diagrams, pressure volume and temperature entropy diagram. So here we will be having four processes, that is two isothermal process and two isentropic process. So whatever the heat addition will be there, that is during isothermal process, means during the heat addition the pressure and temperature remains constant. You can see here during this, the first 1 to 2, the process 1 to 2 is nothing but heat addition, okay. So here during this process the pressure remains constant, same way the temperature remains constant, so that's why we call it as an isothermal process. So the Carnot cycle consists of four processes. The first one is constant pressure heat addition. So the heat addition is nothing but heating of water in the boiler. So when a coal is burnt, so due to the burning of that coal, the heat is produced, and that heat is utilized to convert the water into steam. So that is nothing but the constant pressure heat addition. So once the steam is generated, the second step is isentropic expansion of that steam, means whatever the steam is there, that will be sent, the superheated steam, that will be sent to the turbine. So when it imparts or impinges on the turbine blades, what happens, the turbine starts rotating, it produces the power. So during that process what happens, the steam, there is an expansion of that steam, okay. So that process can be seen on this PV diagram, that is from process 2 to 3 is nothing but expansion of that steam, superheated steam. Same way here, during this expansion what happens, there is a considerable decrease in pressure, same way there is decrease in temperature. So once the whatever the steam that is been fed, when it comes out of the turbine, so that after that it is sent to heat rejection, means whatever the steam is there, that is sent to the condenser. So in condenser what happens, the steam will be getting converted into water, Okay, so whatever the steam is there, so that will be again converted into water. So that process we call it as condensation. Okay, so using a condenser we convert the superheated steam, or what we call the expanded steam, into a water. So that process can be seen in this PV diagram by 3 to 4. So this is nothing but constant pressure heat rejection. So whatever the pressure is there, that remains constant. So during that process only the heat is rejected. So during this what happens, the temperature remains same, it doesn't change, but there will be what decrease in volume, and there will be a decrease in entropy. So once the steam has been converted into water by the condenser, so using the pump, okay, so we use the pump here. So same pump is used to what, pump the water from condenser again back to the boiler. Okay, so that process we call it as isentropic compression of steam. So during this process what happens is, using compressor we send that whatever water is there, that has been will be sending back to the boiler. Again the same water is used, again the same water is heated in the boiler and steam is produced. So that isentropic compression of steam can be seen in the PV diagram using this process 4 to 1. So during this what happens, there will be a considerable amount of increase in pressure. Same way there will be an increase in temperature. So at point 1 again same way, the same water again it is heated, again a steam is produced, and same that steam is fed to the turbine for producing power output. So this is regarding Carnot cycle. So let's go through the next one, that is Rankine cycle. So it is similar to the Carnot cycle. So this process was developed in 1859 by an Scottish engineer, William J.M. Rankine. Hence it is named after him, that is we call it as a Rankine cycle. So the thermodynamic cycle which converts heat into mechanical energy, right? So whatever the heat energy the steam has, that gets converted into mechanical work. So when that steam gets impacted on the turbine blades, a mechanical work is produced, and to that turbine blade what generators, or what we can say generators are attached, so that electricity is produced. So let's go through this Rankine cycle. So here the Rankine cycle consists of a pump. Okay, so pump is used so that whatever the water is there in the condenser or in the storage, that will be pumping to the boiler. So the next comes is boiler, where the heating of the water takes place. So once that heating of water takes place, that steam is produced, that will be sent to the turbine, and again once the work is done, whatever the expanded steam is there, that will be sent to the condenser, so that the steam will be converted back to water. So you can see here this is a actual representation of a turbine and a generator. You can see here there is a generator, turbine generator. So steam will be coming here, and it will be impacting on these turbine blades, and turbine starts rotating. You can see the turbine and the generator are coupled using a shaft. So whatever, when it rotates, same simultaneously the generator also rotates, and the electricity is generated. So let's go through how it works. So same way here it has four processes. So first one is constant pressure heat addition process. That is process 1 to 2. Okay, you can see here the process 1 to 2 heat addition. So during this process the constant pressure remains constant, and also the temperature remains constant. So what happens is, from pump, whatever the pump is there, the pump is uses the water from the condenser and pumps into the boiler. So this is the boiler. So inside the boiler there will be tubes which are placed in parallel. Okay, so when the heat is produced, what happens, slowly the water starts getting converted into steam, and at point 2 you'll be getting a superheated steam. So now using the superheated steam, what happens, the steam is fed to the turbine. So that is the second process, what we call it as isentropic expansion process. So you can see here in the diagram, that is 2 to 3, it is the isentropic expansion, where the expansion of the steam takes place. So when the steam impacts on this turbine blades, it starts rotating. You can see here a generator is coupled to the turbine, so simultaneously the generator starts rotating and electricity is produced. So whatever the steam is that is coming out from this turbine, it will be an expanded, right? So it loses its pressure and temperature when it comes out of the turbine. That is, you can see here during the process 2 to 3. Next again 3 to 4, that is constant pressure heat rejection. So after the steam that is coming out of the turbine, it is sent to the condenser. So here what happens is, the condenser it condenses the steam and get converted into water. Okay, so the condenser it's a device which condenses the steam into, or converts the steam into water. So that can be seen in this PV and TS diagram by process 3 to 4. So here during 3 to 4 the pressure remains constant, only the heat is rejected. Okay, so once this water gets collected, again it is pumped back to the boiler using this pump. So that is nothing but the process 4 to 1 isentropic compression, that is 4 to 1. So during this supply or during this process, what happens, the pressure considerably increases. Same way there will be a small amount of increase in pressure temperature. So same way again, after it is sent to the boiler, the water starts again getting heated. You can see here on a TS diagram, from point 1 to point 2 the water gets converted again into steam, and the same steam is again fed into the turbine. Work is done and electricity is produced. So this process is a cycle, continuous process. Okay, same water is used again and again, which gets converted into steam and again gets converted back to water to produce the electricity. So here we have studied what regarding the Carnot cycle, its explanation using PV and TS diagram. So these cycles are used in what we can call them as power plants to produce electricity. So the most common type of cycle that is used in power plants is the Rankine cycle. We can call it as an ideal working cycle. So we have also studied regarding Rankine cycle, how it works using pressure, volume and temperature entropy diagram. Thank you.